Good morning, my name is Karanwani and I am here to explain topic structure of an atom. So before understanding what atom is, we need to contemplate on these questions. So have you ever realized what is the smallest unit of matter or what matter is composed of? So what is the nature of this smallest particle? If we think about smallest unit of matter, what is the nature of that smallest unit of matter? And what would be the size and structure of that smallest unit of matter? And that smallest unit of matter would be divisible or indivisible. So these questions, whenever we will think about the nature of the smallest unit of matter, these questions are bound to come in our mind. We would be answering all these questions in this video. So just like the building is made up of bricks, atom is the building blocks of all matter forms. We have you must have discussed in the biology classes that the fundamental and the smallest unit of life is cell. Although cell contains organelles, but cell has an independent uh, cell can exist independently, but organelles cannot. That's why we consider cell to be fundamental and smallest unit of life. Similarly, atom is the building blocks of all matter forms. So Dalton atomic theory was one of the first theory which discussed or which throw light on atom and which first used this term known as atom. Earlier it was used by Greek and Indian philosophers, but in scientific perspective, Dalton was the first one to explain this. So this is a theory which first explained about atom. The postulates this was considered, which was given by Dalton, are considered as the part of Dalton atomic theory. So what were the postulates? Let's see. All matter is composed of very tiny particles called atom. So he used the smallest unit of he used the terminology atom for the smallest unit of matter, and he said that atom are indivisible particle. It means whenever a chemical reaction will take place, atom will not be divided, will not be destroyed, or will not be created in a chemical reaction. It means atom is the, again he is focusing on the point that atom is the smallest unit of matter. So he also said that the atom of different elements are identified with respect to their mass and chemical properties. So atoms of different elements and compounds are different from each other in terms of their mass and chemical properties. It means their chemical properties and mass would be differing with respect to each other. So these atoms combine in the ratio of a small whole number. So these atoms combine with each other to form compounds. So atoms of different elements have different masses and different chemical properties. That's why they differ from each other. So the relative number of atoms are constant in given compound. But he also said that, as he said in the previous postulate as well, that atom would not be created, would not be destroyed. It means their number would be constant, although their numbers would be differing from compound to compound, and their nature and their chemical properties as well as their mass would be differing from each other, but their number would be constant in compound. It means it won't be changed. It means they won't be created and destroyed, although their properties would be different, their chemical properties would be different, and their mass would be different. So now we would discuss about the size of atom. So size of atom is very small. So atomic radius is measured in nanometers. So you can realize how much small it is. It's beyond our imagination actually at this level of time. So more than million of atoms make a small piece of matter such as thin sheet of paper. So even whatever the sheet we are taking, it is also made up of millions of atoms. So you can realize about how much small atom is. So you can see the radius of atom of hydrogen. It is the given radius 10 raised to power minus 10 meter. So you can realize how much small the atom of hydrogen is. In the previous slide also I have given the image of atom of hydrogen. Okay, so our entire world is made up of atom. This is a big statement, but it's realistic definitely. So here it is given that molecule of water, see the molecule of water has radius in 10 raised to power minus 9 meter. So the atom is this much small. The size of atom is so small. Now structure of atom. The atom is not indivisible and it contains charged particles. Up till now, what we have discussed is that the atom is not indivisible and it contains the charged particles. So till now we have discussed that atom is not indivisible, but later on it came us to know that atom is divisible, and it also contains charged particles. So these charged particles are majorly of three types: electron, proton, and neutron. So Goldstein was one of the pioneering scientists who discovered canal rays, which was radiations in gas discharge, which started the research on subatomic particles. And J.J. Thomson was the first scientist who threw light on the structure of atom. So Thomson model of an atom. Definitely when we discuss about atom, these were the different models were given by the scientists on the basis of their discoveries and their researches, and they tried to contemplate and they tried to understand the structure of atom. So according to the Thomson model of an atom, the structure of atom is simple to Christmas pudding. So he said that there is a positive sphere, and in these positive spheres electrons are embedded in it. This structure was later rejected by the scientists. So when Rutherford model of an atom, so Rutherford later researched on it, and he gave these postulates which explained that most of the space inside the atom is empty, and the positive charge of the atom occupies very little space, and there is nucleus. So he discovered the nucleus in an atom, and he said the size of nucleus is much smaller than atom, and all the positive charges and is concentrated in a small volume within the atom. So as I told you previously as well, so there will be the positive charged center in an atom called nucleus, and nearly all of the mass of an atom reside in that particular nucleus only, and electron revolve around the nucleus. So the size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the atom. Now we are seeing that the atom is also constituted of smaller and smaller units, and just like the cell consists of organelles. Now Bohr model of an atom. So Bohr explained this, that only certain special orbits known as discrete orbits of electrons are allowed inside the atom. So he said that orbits are discrete orbits, and in these orbits electron revolve around the nucleus in an atom. So while revolving in discrete orbits, the electron does not radiate energy. So he said that whenever due to revolving, these electrons don't radiate energy, although later in your later stages you will find exceptions to these, and you will find contradictions to this model as well. So these orbitals or shells are called energy levels. So these are energy levels, and he named these shells as K shell, L shell, M shell, and N shell. This is the nucleus, and in these shells electrons revolve around the nucleus. So CHADWICK later discovered neutron, and neutrons are present in the nucleus of all atoms, but it is not present in hydrogen. So he discovered this subatomic particle which had no charge and a mass nearly equal to that of proton, and it was eventually named as neutron. So we have discussed that there is nucleus in atom, there are electrons, protons, and neutrons. Neutron is not present in hydrogen, rest of the atoms it is present. So Bohr and Bury later explained the distribution of electron in different orbits of an atom. So he said, he gave a formula 2n square. So where the K shell would be maximum can have 2 electrons, L shell can have maximum 8 electrons, M shell can have a maximum of 18 electrons, and N shell can have maximum of 32 electrons. So these are the structures, of first elements, atomic structures of first 18 elements. Kindly see them. Thank you.